frankly, I was not interested in a teacher's job at all.
Youngest HOD, as we know from all of RVC.
Huh.
So, how has your experience been so far as the HOD? So, what has changed after you became the HOD?
Be it a kid who has just entered the department, or be it RSK sir who's experienced almost of my age. So it's easy to work for me given my nature of being very friendly with everyone.
So, sir, do you use Chat GPT to make your question papers?
There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in using chat gpt or Gemini or whatever AI it is. There are certain questions which was much better than mine, so I have used. So I never even thought that I'll be on a podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Insight, the podcast where brilliance meets vision, ideas meet innovation, and stories meet inspiration. Joining us today is our very own young, dynamic, and effortlessly cool Dr. Supreeth. Let us get a meaningful insight into his personal and professional life. I am your host, Prajwal. Buckle up, let's get ready for the takeoff. So, good evening, sir.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for being on The Insight.
Yes, thank you.
So, how do you feel right now?
It's my honor. I think this is my first podcast. So I never even thought that I'll be on a podcast. Day in, day out, I used to listen from my wife that she did that podcast, she did this podcast for that person. But now I'm finally on a podcast. Thank you so much. And it's my pleasure to be here with you and
Thank you, sir.
with all the spark.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So let's get into the
Yeah,
most
I have a
famous. Yeah, sure. So
yes.
the most common question or the most interesting question we want to ask is:
Hmm.
you are the youngest HOD of aerospace. Youngest HOD, as we know from all of RVC.
Huh.
So how has your experience been so far as the HOD?
As the HOD, it's great actually. You've first of all, I didn't think, or I didn't have that belief that I would be nominated or I would be promoted as a HOD. So all thanks to the institute principal, vice principal, and all the panel who were in for the selection committee. And also my wishes goes to the trust. Obviously, they are the people who decide everything, but still they have trusted me and given this big role. And yeah, it's a very big role for me. And I've it's kind of at times it's nice, at times I don't say it is not nice, it is challenging. And yeah, here and there I would like to improvise and also take up challenges so that the opposite side benefits. There were few hurdles here and there, bottlenecks. And since I'm the person who've been recruited first in the department, so besides Dr. RSK sir, so I've been through all the thick and thins of the department. So being the only person in the department to a department of significant size now. So I've been through all the challenges. I know every step of the department. So where we erred, where we failed, where we improvised, where we did best compared to others. So with that expertise, I think that expertise or that experience is actually helping me a lot to foresee things and see before implementing. I make sure that everything is working fine. So that experience of 10 years, almost 9.5 years, almost roughly 10 years of experience of being in the department, youngest department, aerospace, that helped me a lot.
So what has changed after you became the HOD? Like previously, you were just a professor. So what are the differences or something which you feel you have taken on more?
Taken on more. So one thing was most of the work was or work were moving very slow. So even for a small activity or small work, there used to be a significant time spent unnecessarily for all those things. And especially when it comes to work, we were losing a lot of man hours. So that is completely out now. So everything is put on a fast track. So we do everything instantly. So decision is taken instantly, and basically everyone are happy. That's what I got the feedback both from my colleagues as well as students. So that is not there. So instantly we take decisions, collective decisions, from the panel, from the team, from the department. So everything is kind of smoothened, ironed out. So when students are happy, when the department is happy, what else you need? So I think I'm kind of satisfied with that.
So, looking at your colleagues, there are more experienced in the academic field. So, how do you navigate your leadership and go around with the decisions you make?
Okay.
Because they are all very experienced teachers.
Yes,
So,
yes.
do you have arguments or counters?
Okay. See, one my own nature is that I'm not a bossy person. I'm very adaptive. So my brain works in a way that I quickly adapt. Whatever challenge, whatever situation, circumstance may be, I quickly adapt to the person on the opposite side, and I navigate in that own person's way, and I make him comfortable, and then I'll make sure that things are done.
Yeah, sure. That's we've seen a lot.
That is one big that is that by nature I'm
Hmm.
like that. So I quickly adapt, and I also think from others point of view. I don't think from my point of view at all, whether it is personal life or professional life. I always think from the other's point of view. So it gives me a perspective what that person is going through, what that person actually needs, what is his present situation. So I am able to gauge everything very quickly. So I'm not losing any time there. So immediately when I get to know what is the current state, so I make sure that everything goes fine. And I'm a very friendly person, so that
Yeah.
also adds a kind of makes things very easy for me and easy for the other people also. Be it a kid who has just entered the department, or be it RSK sir who's experienced almost of my age. So it's easy to work for me given my nature of being very friendly with everyone and cordial also. So I don't see. At the end of the day, I value relations a lot. I value the friendship. I value the professionalism. So when I come back to college next day, I should not have that guilt or bitter feeling that, oh no, today I'm going to see his face. How do I face him? Or he's when he sees me, so how bitter or how tough it will be for that person to face me. So those things will come to my mind. So I make sure that that doesn't creep in at all. So that is the first point. So by nature I'm tuned, my the mindset is totally tuned. So it's easy for me to be like this, and it's easy for others also to be as they are with me. And that sorts out a lot of things.
So, sir, from childhood, I've been looking at my cousins play video games.
Okay.
So that grew my interest towards video games.
Okay.
So we have noticed that you have an interest towards bikes.
Yeah, yeah, very much.
So how did the interest grow?
Interest basically, as you know, boys are very much aligned towards bikes. So majority of the boys whom I met, they are almost inclined towards the bikes. So from a very young age we are inclined towards that biking and the journeys, the bike trips, everything. So it was ingrained in my mind when I was very young. So at those times I think I used to like Harleys. But now, after I started earning, I know Harleys are not so practical, so I don't ride any Harleys, or I don't think about Harleys. So it's mostly the naked bikes I prefer a lot.
Is there any dream bike of yours?
Dream bike, actually, to be very frank, I've come from a very humble background. So owning a bike itself was a big thing, but still, after by God's grace, to be very fortunate, my family also supported, because when the moment you say bikes, and especially fast moving bikes or super bikes, they'll have that fear, especially the given the Indian roads and Indian condition, you know what will happen. So there were, before I bought bikes itself, there are many cases where my friends had met with an accident, my friends had passed away biking while biking. Still they didn't want me to see very upset by not having a bike. So after my wedding, after my marriage, I think in 2019 I bought the bike. It was a Triumph Street Triple 765cc bike. That itself was a dream. So when you asked what is your dream bike, so that dream when it was
The feeling of
realized,
getting
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. So riding a 100cc bike and now transitioning to a 765cc bike, it was a dream come true. But now I don't have a bike anymore because of my medical history of having a bad knee. I have bad knee, so I've underwent almost 5 surgeries on my left knee. So after the surgery, which happened in 2023 and 2024, the doctor told, don't ride bikes for at least 2 to 3 years. So that, that was a moment for my wife to sell the bike. So I sold the bike, but now I'm planning to buy a bike. Dream bike, maybe super sport is always one thing. It'll definitely get you on a very good feeling, and that's a dream bike for most of you. But to be very practical, super sports are not such practical bikes. Let me see, I'm still not figured on what bike and when, but I'm planning to get one.
So you started with mechanical engineering as your undergraduate. Then you moved on to aeronautical as your master's, and then
Yes.
you went into VTU to do your PhD.
Yes.
So were you always? Did you have a goal in mind when you started your career, or when you started studying?
Okay. No, absolutely. I didn't have any goal, as in, and as I told, I come from a humble background, and studies itself was a, what to say, a very dear thing for us. So coming from such very humble backgrounds, first thing was I need to have a degree, and I was more inclined towards mechanical engineering because at that time quite a few of my cousins had done mechanical engineering, so they already had a job. So that, I think that was the easiest route to have a engineering degree and then have a job. So I did my engineering and from Don Bosco Institute of Technology. After that I graduated. The moment I graduated, my dad told, no, why don't you complete your masters? So I gave a thought and they also convinced me. I did masters. So while doing masters, I was a little bit varied to do what mechanical I've done. But that time I got an interest into aerospace. So that time I used to read a lot about LCA Tejas, and definitely any aeroplane or aircraft, when it zooms past you, you'll get that feeling, right? So that hit me. So that was the moment when I thought, no, why don't I try aeronautical engineering? And in Bangalore, there were not many colleges which were offering aerospace or aeronautical. I think MBJ was the only college that was offering aeronautical. So I joined there and I did my completed my masters. And after masters, I got placements into some Spanish company. So then, but that didn't work out. So then, as a stopgap arrangement, a stopgap job, I joined here. My first job was the Anand Sagar College of Engineering. So that was just a stopgap arrangement, but I'm here now. 13 years have passed. 2012 was the first job I got. So I don't know, being with students, that was one of the greatest takeaway of this job. So you don't feel that you're aging, and always with students you have that new fresh moments of life coming always. So you don't get feel bored, you don't get feel frustrated. So when students are around, you have always have that lively moment, right? So I think those moments have taken me this far. And frankly, I was not interested in a teacher's job at all, but somehow past 13 years here in this field.
Definitely, sir. You are a very wonderful teacher.
Thank you.
Even though I've not been part of your classes, I definitely understand. I would enjoy.
Thank you.
So, sir, how was your childhood? Like,
Childhood.
what was your journey? How did you come? Did you come across any hurdles?
Journey as a child was good. I was a very, very naughty kid. Naughty kid, and I think even today, my parents, my relatives, they used to recall how naughty I was. Naughty to an extent of being unbearable, intolerable. Was that? No, no, I'm not making up, but it is a serious thing. I was a very naughty person, but gradually, I don't know, some instances have changed my life. Once I had been to Victoria Hospital for some, I think one of my relative had passed away by accident. So I was young, pretty young. I visited Victoria. That is when the life actually hit me very badly. Though I come from a very, as I told, very not so great background. So when I went to that hospital, when I saw people there, the spate of people, the plight of people, I was really thinking, ಹಿಂಗೂ ಇರ್ತಾರ ಅಂತ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲೂ ಜನರು ಇರ್ತಾರ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. Now people were not even able to afford a square of meal per day. They were not even able to afford any treatment, and they know for sure they're dying next moment. But still, they were living with the hope that some doctor will come and help them. But that didn't happen. That few instances when I went to Victoria, so that really played an important role. So that I told you, right, I always feel like stepping into other shoes and thinking, right, that was the moment it really got into me. So since then, any person comes to me, whether it is good or bad, first my mind automatically switches to their position, and I so that's made me very humble. And I don't even know when was the last time I scolded my students. I don't even remember when I yelled at my students. Yelling is not at all a option. So anyway, there are ways where you can tell, where you can convince. So that those instances have made me a person whom I am. That yes.
So since you tell that you have the ability to at least, or you want to go into someone else's shoes, what would you say for the people who are trying to find out what career path they should take? Because there are a lot of options and there's a lot of confusion. Most of the people end up taking decisions based on someone else's influence.
Yeah, yeah.
So what would you say to the people who are trying to choose the right thing for them?
Yeah, especially given the present generation. So when we were young, we didn't have much of options. So either what your parents tell, or you have maximum one or two options. But now, every day you come across a different sector, different fields, domains, and also the peer pressure have put a lot of confusion to the present generation, especially the Gen Z and the next generation that is about to come. A lot of options, definitely when a lot of options are there, there'll be a lot of chaos and confusion. So one thing you can trickle down to options is that understand what really makes you happy. You need not know everything. There's nothing wrong in knowing everything. Know something and know very good in a particular subject or a particular domain. And we should always make sure that definitely we will get influenced. And me being in the present generation, even I do get influenced. And when my peers are in corporate field, definitely you know how glorious, how glamorous a corporate field is. But still, at times I also get influenced. Then I'll say to myself, this is really required. So there are few things which will really give you happiness. So select that particular domain or field. So be with that field. And one thing is that peer pressure, please don't take any peer pressure. Do that thing which really gives you happiness. And there's absolutely nothing wrong in not knowing everything. Today students come, they feel like learning machine learning, then they'll tell data science, then go to AI, then deep AI, then generative AI. There's so many things coming, and students are really worried, sir, should I know everything? And that really, it's not a great thing, because too much of diversification is not good. It's like jack of all, master of none. So it becomes like that. So know one or two fields in depth, so that's enough. But as present generation Gen Z, you know everything, you have flavor for everything, but you master one or two things. That's my take on that.
So you are involved in more of the academic part, whereas your wife is involved towards. She's very good towards content curation. So talk us through about your dynamic with her.
Okay. So we share a very friendly relation. So I'll be eager to meet her every day, and she'll be very eager to meet me once I finish my job and go back home. And our day starts with a cup of coffee and cup of tea. So we wake up at around 6:30. First thing we do is go to buy two coffee, or usually nowadays we go to buy two coffee near Vijayanagar, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, stroll around, and then come back home. After I come back home, she knows that I want one more cup of tea. She'll make a cup of tea. So that's how our day starts. And then nowadays we have kids, so she gets busy with the kids, and after she sends them off to school, then her work starts. So her work is mainly into content creation. So she knows what her work is, so she's very good at her work. So, and also when we are back home, I talk about how my day was and how her day was, and she gives me all the nitty gritty of whatever she has done and through the days, whom she met, what she discussed, and what plans she made for that. And she'll ask opinions of, she did all these things and she didn't like that, she didn't like this. She basically, we share our things, and before dozing off, we make sure we talk for some amount of time. Yeah,
So
this is
how
how.
has it been to be a father?
It's great actually. Initially, it was difficult, and especially when you have twins. Literally, one point of time, my life, I thought my life was ruined. Because absolutely, you don't have any time for yourself. It's always kids, 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 and the frustration grows. You shout at your wife shouts at me. It was like that, but now we understand how parenting is, how difficult it is, how maturely we need to handle the situations. So again, it's great to be father. Till I got to know that I didn't have an idea till the fatherhood. I was on my own, so we used to worry a lot about where to eat, what to do this weekend, where to go this weekend. So we travel a lot. So that was happening till our kids came. After kids came, 2 years, 3 years, it was very difficult. So as I told, we didn't have time for our own self. At times, it becomes so difficult because only we should manage. ಮನೇಲಿ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ರು, ಅಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅಮ್ಮಂಗೂ ಕಾಲು ನೋವು, so she can't manage the kids. So it's most of the time we used to manage the kids. Kids go very cranky. Literally they spoil your entire day, especially when they are very, very young. But somehow we managed. She used to explain me what parenting is, how new age parenting is all about. It's not about, see, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೋಪ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡಿಯೋದು, ಬೈಯೋದು, we used to yell at kids ಅಲ್ಲ. So now she's not about that. So she has educated herself how to handle kids, so that's also helping me a lot. So now, yeah, now after becoming a father, yeah, I felt really proud, and twin boys, so that gave a sense of more responsibility for me. So that's when I started to look into all these mutual funds, because the moment you become father, you think about their future, though they are just born. So you, as a father, it actually involuntarily comes to you, spontaneously it comes to you. So we think a lot about our kids future. But mothers, they think about what dress to put, what to buy for kid, what chocolates, what cakes, where to take them. Their mentality is like that, so every day they need to pamper the kids. But fathers, we don't get into that pampering mood, but we think about their future. So after 18 years, once they graduate, so how much money should they have for their education? If they want to fly out, we should have enough money. So then we started to make our savings big and big. So that's a part of being father and fatherhood.
So, sir, throughout your academic career and professional career, who are your mentors, and how did they shape you to become to reach this place?
Mentors. The first person who was very instrumental for me to come to this field was my professor at MBJ College of Engineering. So I told you, right, after my post graduation, I had a job, but that didn't work out. So I was still looking for a job. The professor name is Dr. Arogya Swami. So he's no more now. So he moved to Danan Sagar as the HOD. So the moment I did my master's project under him at MBJ. So when he moved to Danan Sagar, he got to know that I'm looking out for a job. So he called me and offered a position there as assistant professor, and it was easy for me since I already knew him, and he was my mentor, my guide, and the masters. So it was easy for me. So he got a position there for me at Danan Sagar. So after that, 2 years I was into academics. Then, as academician, you need to have a PhD. That's a norm of the day. So he started to tell, why don't you register for PhD, and that also you can do it. Even I was not, as I told, it was just a stopgap arrangement, so I didn't want to commit for one more thing. And PhD, or totally uncertain how many number of years it will take. It can be 3 years or 30 year also. There are people who have graduated, not graduated with PhD degrees. So that was my biggest worry. So I didn't want to commit, but somehow he convinced me, and I registered for PhD. And since then, he guided me, he mentored me, and I think he's the only person who is responsible for me what I am now today. So I might miss a lot on being in the corporate field. I always wanted to be in the corporate field, but I don't know whether if that would have given me satisfaction or not. But here, being here, I'm really satisfied. I think all the regards goes to Dr. Arogya Swami.
Is there any saying or text which he used to tell you often that it's or that's always with you?
I know he was also kind of reserved, so we used to just say a few words. So I don't have any text from.
We'll go to the rapid
Yes.
fire session now.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll go to the last segment of our podcast.
Okay. Done.
What is the one thing which you would carry for any class you would go
Carry being very jovial, being very nice to students, and being friendly.
to? Can you name one of your favorite movies?
Movies, there are quite a lot. I think Pearl Harbor I like a lot. Then Tamil, Telugu, there are quite a good movies. But Pearl Harbor I remember a lot.
Um, if not a professor, what career would you have chosen?
Yeah, as I told, I would have been in corporate as some lead engineer or some project manager. Yeah, I would have definitely been in corporate. And also, I had one point of time I badly wanted to do a MBA. So if not for this career, I would have done my MBA and been in the corporate as a executive or something.
So, sir, do you use Chat GPT to make your question papers?
Not really. I do my own question papers, but I've tried. There's nothing wrong in trying, but I've tried. There are certain questions which was much better than mine, so I've used.
So, would you prefer with people who use more AI or rather just create their own questions?
See, in the present time, if you don't use the technology, I think you're missing out a lot. So at the same time, everything too much dependence on AI is also not right. We know as teachers, because we have been teaching in this field for the last 10 15 years, so we know what is correct, what is wrong, at least till curriculum is concerned. So there are times when AI failed to give the correct right question. So at least you should be mature enough to say or see which is right, which is wrong. So that wisdom a faculty should have. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in using chat gpt or Gemini or whatever AI it is, but make sure that at the end of the day you use your wisdom to make sure that everything is correct.
Sir, would you prefer driving or flying?
I prefer driving.
Driving as in bikes.
Riding also I prefer, driving also. Nowadays after family, definitely driving I prefer a lot. Riding, yeah, I'm little bit skeptical of I'm not in a position to take risks now because I have a family. So I don't want to take risk, but even though if I ride, I'll be very cautious. I'm a very cautious rider. I ride very responsibly. Responsibly, I'll ride, and also driving. Also, I enjoy
What's your favorite dish?
biryani, biryani, chicken or mutton biryani.
If you had all the money right now and you couldn't buy a different bike,
Okay.
what would you buy other than bikes?
Other than bike, a nice villa, and invest and settle for the life. I would stop my job right away tomorrow, peacefully retire tomorrow. Yes.
Coming to the last segment of our podcast, this is a general question which we ask to every guest. So, with the wisdom and knowledge which you have from all of these years of experience, what's a message which you would give to yourself probably in the starting of your career?
Starting of career. Yes. So it's always important to build career. So that is when your life actually starts. For next 30, 40 years, who you are, what you are, what you make, and that is when you also settle down with your family. So what you give for your family. So that all depends upon your career. So always choose a right career. Make sure you get satisfied. You have complete satisfaction with your career, and always have that humanistic approach. You be a human, so that will really give the flavor of life. So if you're not human, if you don't have the human emotions, I know how corporate jobs are, but still with those kind of stress and frustrations, you still need to be a human at the end of the day, because you are again a human. So you need to value human relations, human emotions. So that is what makes your life very happy.
Is to end the podcast. Is there any message you would like to give to all the students who are watching?
Watching, be good, do good. So enjoy your life. Always try to not hurt others. You always keep everyone happy. See, every time you can't expect other person to be very nice. So there are situations where there will be a kind of quarrel, or the other person might be very rude to you. But still, despite everything, try to be very good to everyone. That's all.
Thank you very much, sir, for being on the podcast.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much.
wonderful experience learning about you and your past life.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It's
much.
my pleasure. Again, I'm reiterating, it's my pleasure to be on the podcast. And thanks for all the team who have supported this and chosen me for the podcast. And thanks a lot. And all the best for everyone in the college. But it looks nice.
ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಫಂಡ್ ಗಿಂಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಫುಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆರ್ ಫಿಯರ್ಫುಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಹಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್, ದ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್.